Hello everyone and welcome to PaxAriaGaming. This is Reg and this is a bonus episode of Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Basically it's just a bunch of bosses in New Game Plus. So I wanted to sort of showcase my new weapons, my new spells, and I think there are 9 of these boss fights. I missed the first 2 because I ended up killing them too quickly. I thought I'd have to at least try them twice. This one I did try twice. I died the first time. So this is the gluttony monstrosity. Wuchang. And I'm trying to get set up to use this particular spell, which is pretty darn devastating. So one of my struggles, of course, is this sword, this short sword. It doesn't have evasive maneuver. So now So you have to position yourself pretty close to them in order for them to get the full effect of the spell. And if you do, I don't care what boss it is, they get melted. It is amazing how well that spell works. But you have to be close. If you're far away or the boss is one of these jumpy bosses that moves around a lot and never rests, it's going to be very hard to get that spell off. If you face the boss more than once and you see it jumping towards you, you can get the spell off and it'll jump right into it. Next boss, Blightweaver, the Great Centipede. This spell is pretty darn awesome. It drags you across the arena so you almost never miss, and it recharges very fast. Okay, of course, unless you're standing in the middle of a laser thing and let yourself get killed by it. So you don't have to worry about, and I'm using this weapon, I just switched. I was using the other weapon because it actually enhances the spells. This one at least gives me the ability to maneuver. I switch back to the enhanced one. It doesn't do as much damage from that distance, so you have to sort of, it should do a lot of damage from this distance. There you go. I love this spell. This is what you call an OP spell. And I've used it against minor enemies since I'm replaying the game in New Game Plus. I've used it against minor enemies as well, although it's really overkill with minor enemies. But certainly with larger enemies, it works fine. This one is the Reborn Treant, Soulwood. This is a pretty stable boss. He doesn't move. So the thing about this spell is when you move around a lot, right, you have to have 5 of the feathers ready to use it. And sometimes when you move, you're using some of your Skyborn might. And that's what happened there. So I had it set, I moved, it went away, and I had to wait for it to come back. But as you can see, using the spell one time takes away almost 2/3 of the boss's health. Now if you remember this boss, he doesn't move. He has a bunch of AoEs. He can summon little divine things that comes out of the ground, as well as the little zombie things that come out of the ground. And you just keep dodging. I never try to fight them, I just dodge them. Oh yeah. He also summons these little balls, which are easily dodgeable. Now, if I were really smart, I would have been running around these little flower thingies to regain my Skyborn might much faster than I actually did. That spell is the spell I use during the actual main game, in regular game, not New Game Plus. It does a lot of fire damage and things like that. So his AoEs are fairly easy to dodge. I'm still struggling with the sword switching out. And it would have been an even quicker fight if I'd just gone over there and started beating on him while he was on the ground. And if I were using the stronger sword to do that with. But that's okay. It's still a much easier fight than the first time. And the first time it wasn't a difficult fight. Because he's so rooted to one place, it made the fight a lot easier. And you guys who played this game know that a lot of the bosses dart around pretty quickly. They don't really give you a chance to settle down and sort of, I think I'm going to hit the boss there. I mean, they're just all over the place. So this is the other sword, and it does a lot more damage than the first sword that I was using. And that's the fight. That is Reborn Treant Soulwood. I don't know whether you count him as a real boss. You know, the next couple are real bosses. They're like real bosses. These are the ones that people might have struggled with a little bit. Of the bosses I've shown so far, I didn't struggle with any of them, including the first two of the game that I ended up sort of one-shotting, and so I didn't get a chance to record it. So the next boss up is I Ninji. And because I'm playing through again, I am going to summon Nian, even though I don't really need him. Now, this fight's a little different because I started off trying to use my new spell. And as you can see, it does a lot of damage. But because it pulls you across the arena, it leaves you a little bit disoriented. See, he moved away, so that spell did absolutely nothing. That's the danger of using that spell with a very mobile enemy. If you have either an enemy that pauses a lot, or one that's very slow, or one that's stuck in one space like the previous boss, it works incredibly well. He does pause, but I'm not always clear about recognizing when he's going to pause. Like when he's attacking Nian, I could get behind him and use that spell, but I'm not as familiar with his moveset. I'm actually meleeing him more than I normally would, because I normally wouldn't stay this close to a boss. Oh, I forgot to equip the pendant that prevents that from happening. I'm gonna end up killing the end before. But that's all right. I'm not too worried about him. He's wilding out right now. He'll settle down in a second. And here's the spell, and he's right there. There you go. So if you can get the spell off, and it's a big if. You know, I mean, for people who memorize the movesets and they know that I could just run over here and he's going to go over here and move here, then it's probably easier for them. For me, I don't recognize the movesets for some of these bosses. Okay, next up is his buddy, Ming General Lu Cheng-in. He was a very difficult boss for me. And so What I'm likely to do, because of the way he moves, is I'm not likely to use some of the new spells. I think the old spell worked well once I figured out which one I should be using with him. And once I figured that out, you know, life got a lot easier. And as you remember, he moves around a lot. I wasn't so much worried about his frost damage or any of his AoEs.
Your Majesty.
He just moves around quite a bit. The other thing to be concerned about is the audible cue where he sort of slits your throat.
Allow me a moment.
If I keep my distance, that never happens. If I'm close, it tends to happen. And I can't predict when it's going to happen.
Now it thirsts for the blood of invaders.
So, as you can see, the spell does work. It does a lot of damage, but then you're in his melee range, and he doesn't ever really let up. And it does recharge pretty fast, but again, you take so much chip damage running around trying to not get hit while he's wilding out. So we decided, all right, let's do this again. This time, we're going to go with our old method.
Once this blade served the Emperor.
You know, since my
Now it thirsts for the blood of invaders.
since everything's leveled up, my magic, my feathering, and all that kind of stuff, this should do more damage than it would have done the first time I faced him earlier in the game. Cloudspire is the second area of the game, the second chapter. And so fighting him in the second chapter versus my skills and stuff like that by chapter 4, chapter 5 is just vastly different. So this does more damage now than it did before. Plus I have a pendant that also enhances the potency of my magic. And this recharges pretty quickly, so I'm getting roughly 700 every time I do this, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with 700. I don't need 1500. There are spells that would get me 1500, like that first spell I used. The problem with it is that I take so much chip damage that I don't think I can survive these close things. And that spell also has alacrity, as does this one. So if he catches you while you're casting the spell, you don't take any damage.
A storm brews.
The spell that I used with the previous boss, that's not true. You can get killed trying to cast that spell. So there's some that have alacrity and some that don't. You have to really understand which ones don't and which ones do. There's one in particular that I can use against the inner demons. The problem is the inner demon's not going to just stand there. It's going to keep hitting you. So because the inner demons are so aggressive, they will always come towards you. And so if you can gauge the distance, cast a spell, and let them run towards you, they'll always get stunned by it. It works well against the inner demons. I'm not sure how it works against anything else. I'll probably end up updating this clip as I go through the other bosses, but I can't tell you when that's going to be. There'll likely be 2 more bosses before I start Ghost of Your Time. And once I start that, I usually only play 1 game at a time, so I will get back to it because I love New Game Plus. I thought it would be more difficult because, you know, my understanding is the bosses become more difficult, but I guess I'm super leveled, at least early in the game. You should be way over level for these early round bosses. Now, the late game bosses, I don't know. We'll have to see. Where I am in the replay of the game is at Zinmu Temple. So I've just gotten there. So in this particular case, I use the same spell that I used to defeat him in the first game. One of my favorite Mistress of the Night.
I should have picked.
That woman killed me so many times. So again, I'm trying different spells. This one actually does a lot of damage. I think that in the end, we'll see.
Now you see me.
Yeah, as you remember, she does frost damage, and she also has these little corruption things that fly all over the place. Easily dodged, and she has the red balls that she throws at you that's also easily dodged. And keep in mind, this is a 2-phase boss fight with 2 totally different health bars for each phase of... No, this is the one? No, this is not the one. Sorry. Wrong one. That's the next one. This is a 1-phase. This is a 2-phase, but not 2 different health bars. The next phase is when the fox around her neck starts diving at you. Still doing frost damage.
Guards fell.
So see, trying to get that spell off cost me a lot of damage.
Lost, are we?
From a distance, it's good, right? So you're talking 2200, almost 2300 every time you hit her with that spell. Because it's got multiple of these little birds. It's called Call of the Wild.
You walk to your grave. Stay buried.
But you will take some significant chip damage stuck in the corner.
Come amuse me.
She's almost got me dead. Wow. Heal, heal, heal. Alright. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Where you go? Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, it definitely gives her time to close the distance while you're casting. I guess this spell also has alacrity, but it seems like I take more damage doing this one. But as you can see, it's doing quite a bit of damage to her. And this is with the...
Mists arise.
with the sword that doesn't improve my magic ability.
My boy's wedding nears. I shall not have it spoiled.
She's got frostbite on her. And that's it.
My boy.
So it works well. It sort of is a little bit more stressful than the other one. Because you do take more damage. The one that pulls you across the arena and it's hitting the boss with the sword, as well as these magic balls that cause a lot of damage. There's a lot going on, but you're not really taking a lot of damage. And I guess if I equipped Leech and did that, probably would be more helpful. Okay, now we have one of my... Actually, the next two are my least favorite bosses in the game. The Perfect Bride, Fangling, and after her, Bow Sorcerer, who was my unbelievable nemesis. She killed me like 90 times. And it feels good to go through a New Game Plus and get some revenge on them. So this is the one that has the two phases that are two completely different health bars. It's the Perfect Bride, and then the second part is the Chimera. The Chimera is actually easier. Chimera is very, very, very weak to fire. Dodges around the arena. we'll get there in a second. Let's start with the Perfect Bride, because she's obviously different from the Chimera. And I think sometimes when you're doing this, even in New Game Plus, the best strategy is a previous strategy that you might have employed because it works so well. That was certainly true with the Ming General. And part of it is because the spell can reach all the way across the arena. That was true for Mistress as well. But I figured I would try it. As long as it worked, I would use it, and it worked. I think I have every spell in the game. I have not tried them all. As I continue to work my way through, I will try them more and more. But they're not all equal, though.
Yeah, my sister. Is it you?
Okay, so I did try a different spell, got killed, and so I went back to the spell that I used when I fought her the first time. You do have time to heal, and this is one of those spells with alacrity as well. So using my old sword, which gives me evasive maneuver, is helpful in this fight. Okay, I say that and then I get hit immediately by the red blob. But it's useful in this fight because of the red blobs, and because if she gets close to you and starts in with her really incredible martial arts skills, you really need to dodge. You're going to be much more susceptible to poise break when she hits you, or in the first time I played this game, when she did that, I would die. It would be an immediate death. Now, because I have a lot more health and stuff like that, she doesn't kill me with the one hit. But that doesn't mean I want to get hit by that. My strategy is to keep moving. Once the spell charges up, use alacrity. That laser thing should never hit you. If you do what I'm doing, which is to stay far away. And every time she does that, you want to make her pay for it. Now this spell for her is only doing 534 damage each time I cast it. So it's definitely a weaker spell than some of the other ones, but this requires you to be patient. She doesn't have a... I don't actually didn't compare health pools, so I don't know whether hers is higher than or lower than some of the other bosses we faced. But because she gives you so much space in this arena, I'm not too worried. You have time when she does that to, cast a spell. You have time to heal when she does that. And if you cast a spell while the red balls are coming at you, they won't hit you because of the alacrity of the spell. So sometimes it makes sense to just save up if you think you're going to be hit, and then use the spell at the point at which you're about to be hit, and then you won't take damage. I have to go back and look at the footage to see what damage I was causing when I faced her. Probably somewhere around 200 or something. It definitely wasn't 5. And so it's just a game of patience. She's not going to do anything different than what she's been doing the whole fight. So what you do is you just stay out of her attack range and her little scissor move. Stay away from the laser. The laser doesn't go very far, and then you have that. The second phase with the Chimera is very different, because Chimera moves around quite a bit. It's very weak to fire, so it's always good to temper fire, even if you're not really going to be using that much. You want the spell, but oh, that didn't work. You have to time it right. Like when she's doing that, I could have used the spell. And as you can see, this one recharges very fast. Seems like as soon as you use it, like you are able to use it again immediately. And like just casting it over and over and over again. And even if the sword doesn't hit her, the little balls will. So Chimera was very, 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 very easy. And that spell worked perfectly with her. I guess the other thing too is I'm not sure whether she actually does more damage than the Perfect Bride version. To me, it seems like the Perfect Bride did a lot more damage if you got close and she actually hit you than the Chimera did. Okay, the final boss in this video will be Bow Sorcerer. This is boss number 8 here. And she was such a nemesis. Oh my god. It's just because I could not get used to the timing.
The wheel of fate turns beyond our eyes. In this timeless illusion, where does our true path lie?
At last!
Yeah, I couldn't get used to the timing initially of her moves when I played the game. But in New Game Plus, I learned that, well, you just have to time those dodges. And if you time all the dodges and you do your spells, or if you had a different build and you used a benediction that had poise break on it, that this would actually be a pretty easy fight. So the spell that I'm using is the same spell I used in the original. And the reason why is because eventually, if you use it enough, you're able to sort of proc fire on her, and it does damage over time.
I shall cleanse all!
It's actually the best fire spell in the game. So right now she's got fire proc on her. If I hit her again with it, it does more damage. Let's see if I can get one off to show you. No, she dodged it.
Arc and shadow.
As long as fire, if you see the little fire emblem under her health, if you're able to get fire off again and it hits her, it does more damage than it would have done otherwise.
Arc and shadow.
So that works if you temper your weapon, which mine is set for fire temper. But every time I get closer, she hits me, and I'm not sure it's a good trade-off. So you can see her on fire now.
Winged mortal. Let us test thy worth.
So all these dodges I was mistiming when I fought her originally. It took me a long time to learn to make sure I'm using evasive maneuver. I don't think I was. I think I was just dodging and it wasn't really working. But with evasive maneuver, you are invulnerable for a little while. And you can do the same thing with ephemeral form. But you have to keep casting ephemeral form. And when you're trying to manage your mana bases while doing dodging and watching where she is, it's just a lot. So evasive maneuver helps me. I don't need to do ephemeral form because I have that. And I can hit me that time. I can still get off most spells because this one also has alacrity. And I'm waiting until I get to the halfway point before I summon the old guy. Okay, now's a good time since she's going into her second phase. To call him out. He can be a distraction. These little tornado things are easy to dodge.
Heaven's stars.
See, even when it looks like she's going to hit you, when she does that move, she will miss you most of the time because of the evasive maneuver piece.
Rend the ice.
Now these, most of them missed, even though they look like they got me. The white-robed elder is doing his part. He's getting some damage in. I have a couple of his spells. I haven't used the one he just used on her. Maybe I don't have that one. Maybe I do. I just haven't used it yet.
Thunder the stars.
So as soon as my Skyborn Might rebuilds, I fire off the spell.
Be gone.
Because the idea is to... That audible cue is her little throat slitting thing.
Arc and shadow.
It's interesting because I'm not sure why it made that noise, because she was focused on him. I don't think she can slash his throat.
Arc and shadow.
I wasn't close enough for that to happen.
Starfall.
I need to go over there and help him out. I don't want him to die too early. See, you get those cues. I guess if you're far enough away, it... You don't have, I guess if you're far enough away, you don't really have to worry about it, I guess. And one of my gazillion tries against her, she caught me with that only a couple of times. Most of the time she was killing me with her, with these, not the blade, the magic blades, it was the Skyfall thing, when she would dive down on me. See, and like I said, I was dodging, I wasn't using evasive maneuver. So that was one of the differences. It was a huge difference, actually. Once I started doing that, all of her swinging around, all that stuff doesn't ever hit me.
Heaven's stars.
You really want her to keep doing this move, because she's going to land close to you. And again, if you're doing pure melee, you could have gotten her. If you're using an axe, when she dives, you can get a obliterate on her. And if I had been playing smart, every time she dived, I would have gotten 1 or 2 hits in. But again, this is a magic build, so I'm not all that worried about it. Okay, I ate that one.
Arc and shadow.
Now, because fire is proc, she will likely die before I hit her again. There we go, yeah. That's because she was going to die before, because once fire is on, it's doing damage over time. And so, that's the video. We faced 8 of the bosses. Missed the first 2, so she was the 10th boss of the game. I will continue working my way through. And will likely update this video. It'll be called Bonus Plus or something like that at some point in the future. But I am going to continue. So thank you guys for joining me. And if you like this video, please subscribe and hit the like button. Thanks again. Take care. See you guys in the Ghost of Yotai. Bye.